The damage is clear for all to see. Talk us through what happened last night.
Okay, well, I was in bed and I woke up and I thought I could smell rubber burning, and then I heard a smash, and I thought, being at the 11th, it was maybe something else, and then I heard another smash and I came down the stairs, and when I came down I have a side window at the kitchen and I looked out there and the flames were by this stage roaring up the side of the house.
That must have been terrifying.
Absolutely distraught and panicked, didn't know what to do. I had to run back upstairs, get my phone. I rang the fire service. They rang the police. I didn't even think. All I could think was, will I have to evacuate the house? Because I couldn't, trying to take it in such a short time of what was happening and what had happened to my car. I initially never occurred to me it might be a hate crime, because I thought it was something in the car that made it combust. But then I realised after the episode with the graffiti that this might have something to do with, being sectarian.
This is not the first time that sadly you've been targeted in a way that's been sort of attributed to being a sectarian hate crime.
Yeah.
Tell us about the first incident.
When I was away for the weekend, and my neighbour rang me and said, have you seen your front wall, which would be the front wall of this house? And they had graffitied Aontu IRA out and then signed it UDA on each pillar. And I have on the cameras two guys doing it, and you can see what the other side of the wall, they took a photograph of what they did. So yeah, that was the first time. That was about 8 weeks ago.
What I mean, this is pretty recent, and I mean you're thinking behind it, and I suppose that a lot of people will be thinking that the reason for that is because you chose to stand for election for the Aontu party.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's sort of it doesn't add up, does it? That the people would want to target you for any sort of political reasons.
No, because the main reason I'm standing for Aontu is to do with the services, the secondary care services in Daisy Hill, and that was where my passion was. So when I went to a meeting 4 months ago that Aontu was running, I started to ask questions about Daisy Hill and why they were reducing the services there. So that was when I became really interested in standing, because I'm a paediatric nurse, I work in ED, and I'm passionate about trying to hold on to the services that we have, because it's so important to the local area. So it makes no sense at all as to why this has happened. I would be trying to help everybody, that comes in to ED. Locally, I'd be trying to help the community. So I've also set up Neighbourhood Watch here as well, because there was antisocial behaviour going on. So it doesn't make any sense. Beggars belief as to why this would happen to me or what anyone was trying to achieve.
But will it deter you from the work that you are doing, whether it be in the community with Neighbourhood Watch or indeed as a paediatric nurse? Will an attack like this, will it deter you from doing that good work?
No. I think whoever's doing this, their understanding of what I stand for is wrong. It's very poor, their understanding of it, and why would it deter me when I'm trying to do it? And I thoroughly enjoy what I'm doing, so I don't see why that should be taken away from me. We live in a democracy, and it's what I want to do. I'm not going to have someone beat me down to tell me not to do this when it's helping other people in the community.
And I suppose if there's anything positive to be taken from this whole thing, it's the fact that what you have behind you is a completely wrecked, burnt out car, but thankfully it's not a life.
Yeah, and it, had it been much longer, and I don't know what would have happened, because I think the house would have, it was only a matter of time. The gates burned, the gable wall's gone, so it's blackened. So how long would it have taken before it would have caught fire? It wasn't it wasn't going out, the fire, it was igniting.
Final question, Sharon, what would you say to those, whether they're listening that were behind the graffiti, whether it's the person who set your car on fire last night, what would your direct message be to them today?
Why have they done this, and what is their understanding of what they're doing? And maybe they ought to look at why they're doing things, because they're not destroying my resolve, but they're destroying the community that they live in if they live in this area. So anything they do is not going to have a positive reaction from anyone.